So the mayor of Washington, D.C. has decided to activate the National Guard ahead of tomorrow's protests. Finally, actually, some preemptive realization and acknowledgement that the right wing is always, not 90% of the time, not 99% of the time, the right wing is 100% of the time the ones that instigate violence at these protests. That is a known fact. There is no debate on that. And again, if you want to debate on that basic fact, you're more than welcome to come on my show. But if that triggers you, you're more than welcome to come on my show and we can have a conversation about it. But there is not a single instance of violence that was not incited by right-wingers. Now, I call and I lump in cops as right-wingers. Have you ever met a left-wing cop? Right? Okay, so, case closed. So let's read this. Bracing for possible violence, the nation's capital has mobilized the National Guard ahead of the planned protest by President Donald Trump's supporters in connection with the congressional vote, expected Wednesday to affirm Joe Biden's election victory. Now, remember, I believe it was June 1st, 2020, when Donald Trump and Bill Barr activated the National Guard. There was a story leaked that one of the National Guardsmen was actually a neo-Nazi. And when I say a neo-Nazi, I'm legit talking like the guy posted on Stormfront, the guy posted on 8chan, the guy said he wants to kill black people, and he was also in the National Guard, and he was deployed at a Black Lives Matter protest with a live firearm that he pointed at protesters. Now, this guy has since been taken care of and fired. But again, the point remains. You can't trust law enforcement. However, I want to say, again, this is some preemptive acknowledgement that right-wingers are a problem, and that's the win. That's the win. Now, it's a loss in terms of, the fact that there's going to be right-wing occupants just terrorizing the city. Because, again, these National Guardsmen, a lot of them are not vetted. If they're going to have a neo-Nazi go to a Black Lives Matter event in June, what makes them not have a neo-Nazi go to the event tomorrow? So that's something, again, I want to very... And you can look this up. I did a video on it, so if you want to go watch that, you can do so. Trump supporters are planning to rally on Tuesday and Wednesday, seeking to bolster the president's unproven claims of widespread voter fraud. There are people intent on coming to our city armed, D.C. Acting Police Chief Robert Conti said. Again, the leader of the Proud Boys was arrested with armaments, right? So that is another thing that, that's what they're doing. These dumb motherfuckers think that they're fighting in the second revolution. Like, I know, right? Like, you thinking, like, LMAO, right? No, they actually think, oh, I'm fighting. I'm gonna be the modern day George Washington. That's what fucking Enrique Tarrio thinks he is. Like, these people are fucking dumb as shit, man. And again, I want to be very, very, very explicit that...
Only the really... I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ
would ever risk their lives for Donald fucking... Like, imagine, right? Like, that guy who died in Portland because he was like, whatever, right? The guy who died in Portland, imagine you get shot and you're bleeding out and you're dying on the pavement, right? And your last thought, right, before the light goes out of your eyes, your last thought is, I did this for my president. Like... I'm not even joking. That Jay Bishop dude, the guy that got shot and killed in Portland for trying to mace people, right? Imagine you bleed out on the asphalt and your last thought is, I gave my life to President Trump. Like, I know, right? Like, can you imagine? But again, in the words of our president,
only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
These people are very, very spectacular individuals. I'm not going to bother reading the rest of this. It's just, we already know what's going on. But that's interesting. The National Guard are going to Washington. Let's see what happens. This is going to be interesting. My God. Unbelievable.